Hey there, I have a quick one for you today. Welcome to Craft Central Designs. I created this pumpkin decor piece from this unfinished wood pumpkin stack that I found at Hobby Lobby in the autumn department. This one could be decorated for Halloween and or for autumn. You could paint on pumpkin faces or leave it blank and include a worded plaque. This is a very easy and fun piece to create. Please remember to subscribe if you are not currently, if you enjoy this tutorial, and as well give this video a thumbs up if you would, and leave me your comments and tell me how you would decorate your pumpkin stack. Okay, let me show you how I created this pumpkin tower. This is the autumn version here that I created. Now you could leave the faces off and just paint the pumpkins. I'm going to show you a little plaque that you could put on the pumpkin. I'm going to give you some options for this piece. But for this basic unfinished wood, I bought it plain. Tower, there are lots of options. I'm going to be showing you some of those options in just a bit. I created mine especially for Halloween, but as I mentioned, I'm going to give you some options if you wanted to create it just for the fall season to use through Thanksgiving. Okay, so this is the wood stack pumpkin tower. It comes placed on that wood base there. It's a nice thickness of wood. It's very sturdy and very straight. No bowing going on that piece. It has also some raised wood pieces that are creating the lines of the pumpkin. I'm showing you the thickness there. It's a very nice sturdy piece. I paid, after the 40% off, I believe it was $3.49. I'm going to be painting that pumpkin on the front and the back, or those pumpkins, plural. I have their Crafters Collection paint in the color pumpkin. I have there a golden yellow and a black acrylic paint. You can use any paint brand of your choice. And they have their Waverly Antiquing Wax, which I'm going to use to add some color to the base that's holding the pumpkin stack. I have there some jute twine from the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to wrap the stem. And I have a variety of different types of paintbrushes. One definitely you'll need as one with a fine point for doing the detail work if you're going to be creating faces on your pumpkins. Now I'm going to be putting a bow at the left side on the base, whether it's a Halloween decor piece or whether it's just a regular autumn piece. I'm showing you there are the options for the Halloween one. Just to dress that piece up a little bit. And now I have autumn ribbons. This one is a very cute one that I had purchased at Walmart last autumn season. But I'm showing you there some other options. There's a very pretty plaid from the autumn decor department at Hobby Lobby. And look at that beautiful narrow ribbon. I just discovered it yesterday. It's a burlap color with orange leaves. It's very pretty. And then I have some Excelsior there, which I always purchase at Hobby Lobby, and just some bits and pieces. There's that little worded sign that you could place on the pumpkin, and I'm showing you that there as an option if you don't want to create a Halloween pumpkin or you don't want to create the pumpkins with the faces. So that's an option. You could paint that or use Waverly Antiquing Wax on there and place that on one of the pumpkins. That, again, not Dollar Tree, Hobby Lobby. And there's just some bits and pieces, some autumn leaves, some acorns. Those are from Dollar Tree. And I also have some little pine cones, which I don't have right there. But I did end up adding those. So maybe sunflowers. I'm just showing you some options here. I did use a little bit of pitberry garland, and I got that at Hobby Lobby as well. Okay, I'm going to be showing you in detail how I created the 3 eyes, set of eyes on my piece. If you're interested in drawing the eyes on, it's much easier than maybe you think. If you're not used to drawing, I'm going to show you how I did that. I'm going to take my larger paintbrush after I peel off that sticker on the back, and I'm going to paint my entire pumpkin stack on the front and the back. I want this piece completely finished. If you all notice, my voice is a little raspy this tutorial. I've had just a little bit of a cold, so that's why I sound kind of croaky. So anyway, so I'm still not sick enough to not craft, okay? So definitely still had to do that, of course. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and paint this pumpkin stack front and back, in between the wood pieces, all along the sides, the top, the entire thing. Now, I'm going to add some a look of texture or depth to this pumpkin, and this is the way I like to do it. Now, you could do this with a brown if you wanted your blending lines darker, but I like to do mine with a golden yellow, and I'm going to show you how I do it. I load up my paintbrush on one side with yellow, and there you see. Then I load up the other side of my paintbrush with the orange. Now I'm going to place my paintbrush down on the outer edges of each of the wood pieces that make up the pumpkin, and I'm going to run my paintbrush along the outer edge, creating a little bit of a yellow line, if you will. Now on the opposite side of my brush now, I have the orange, or the pumpkin color. And so this is going to be how I'm going to blend those two colors together. Now once I have that outline line, so to speak, the yellow, don't worry if you go in between the wood pieces, you could touch that up later. Now I'm going to take my paintbrush and just blend. Now watch how I do this. I just drag my paintbrush through that paint. And what I'm doing here is just blending my yellow or my pumpkin into my yellow. This is very easy to do once you get the hang of it. Now down through the center of my pumpkin, I'm just going to make that nice pumpkin color. But then when I come to the other side of that definition piece, creating the center of the pumpkin, I'm going to load up my paintbrush again. Yellow on one side, orange on the other half. Now I'm going to place my paintbrush down, yellow side right at the edge of that piece that defines that section of the pumpkin. I'm going to run my paintbrush along and create a yellow line. You see how I'm doing that there? Now, the way I'm going to blend all that together is just drag my paintbrush through the colors. Now, remember, I had orange. I keep saying orange, but pumpkin on the other side of my paintbrush. So that's going down on that piece as well. And this is how you can create lines of definition on a piece. This is just a method of color blending. It's actually very easy to do. Okay, now I'm going to load my brush again. Yellow on one side, pumpkin on the other. I'm going to place my yellow on the outside edge that I'm defining that piece on the pumpkin. I'm going to run my paintbrush along and get like a nice yellow line. Now don't worry if you get heavy-handed with the yellow, because you're going to go in with your pumpkin and just drag your paintbrush through that until you have it blended. This creates a really pretty effect on this pumpkin. You see? It's very simple to do. You're just loading your paintbrush, yellow on one side, orange on the other. Place your yellow side of your paintbrush down on the outer perimeters of your wood pieces. And this, you can see how that's going to give you a definition on that pumpkin. Now, I'm going to do the top ones as well. Now, I've completed that and it's all dry. Now, I've drawn on my faces. I put on my pumpkins 3 different faces, 3 different sets of eyes, 3 different mouths, all the same nose. Now, I'm going to show you, or just give you an idea here, how I did that. My first one, I just created 2 ovals. They're tilted a little bit sideways. The top of the eyes are close together, and then I tilted the ovals outward. I drew some eyelashes on there, just filled in with a black eyeball. I'm showing you here how you place your ovals a little bit slanted. You see how I'm showing you that there? So it's 2 ovals, some eyelashes, and draw in the eyeball. Now, I showed you this one before when I did my reindeer ornaments. I leave a space in between, and I'm drawing very simply 2 teardrops. I'm showing you with my pencil there. 2 teardrops close together. I put on some eyelashes, a little bit of eyelashes on the bottom, draw in an eyeball, and when I paint, I give the eye a little bit of white light on it. Okay, now this last one is the exact same thing as I did before, only I created eyelids by just creating a slanted line across. I'm going to show you here, just like that. You just leave that top part off. You see how it's exactly the same? But I created eyelids by just bringing that curved line over the top of the teardrop. I hope that helps if you want to draw in. Now, I suggest you use a pencil. That way you can erase very easily if you make any mistakes. After you're satisfied, I did 3 different mouths. One's a little bit of a curly mouth. One is just a regular smiley kind of mouth, and the other one kind of curves up to the side. You'll see all that in just a moment. But now I'm just going to take a fine tip paintbrush, and I'm going to use my black acrylic, and I'm going to paint on my eyes, my nose, and my mouth. And this is very easy and simple to do. Once you have it drawn on, that's the hard part. You want to get everything positioned correctly and have everything looking just the way you want it as far as the eyes, the mouth, and the nose. I'm just going to go ahead and paint on all of the lines where I drew it on with my pencil. I absolutely love painting, so for me this is just a lot of fun. And I thought it would be a cute idea to paint each pumpkin with a different face. Now, like I said, you could just leave the faces off. I just like to do very cute decor, so it's very characteristic of me to do something like this. If you follow my channel, you've seen a lot of cute types of pieces on my channel. I just love doing that. But I love painting. I used to paint children's wall murals. I used to take an entire wall and create a scene. And so I love painting. It's one of my passions. I love it. Okay, so here's my 3 faces. I think they're so cute. Check out the different mouths, the eyes, just like I told you, how I created them. You could always just stop the video and screenshot that page and practice on a piece of paper with a pencil and then just draw them on. Now I need to put in the whites of the eyes. I'm just going to use Snow White Waverly chalk paint and then just a little dot on each one of the eyeballs for just the light in the eyes. And so I painted that, the eyeballs on, and now I took a foam brush and I'm going to put on that Waverly antiquing wax just to have a nice finish to my wood base. I just wipe off the excess. In reality, this is going to be pretty much covered up, but I like for my pieces to be finished. So I was very careful when I went around the bottom of the pumpkin. I actually used a small brush to do that detail work. I didn't want to get that antiquing wax on my pumpkin. Now I'm going to create a very simple 2-loop bow, and I'm using a directional ribbon, which makes it a little bit more tricky when I create the bow, because I like for the design on the bow to sit just right on the bow. And so far I'm doing okay with this one, but I just pay attention. I just fold over my loops, trying to get like the best visual advantage from my printed ribbon. And I can see my little gnomes there, so I'm happy with that. And I just use a pipe cleaner that coordinates with my ribbon. And then I'm just going to create one single loop right down the center, which that turned out really well too, because it showed those 2 little pumpkins. So I only have room for a very small bow here. So I'm using a pipe cleaner to pop it through the center of that center loop. And that's going to be it for that bow. It's just going to be 1 loop on each side. Now maybe you have a method of creating a simple bow, that's fine. I left the tails about 4 inches long, and for me, I'm just going to poke that right through the center loop, marry up my tails on the bottom, and then I just angle them. If you would like to learn to make bows, I have multiple tutorials where I make much more elaborate bows than these, but I do specialize in bow making. As those of you who follow my channel know that to me there's just nothing like a gorgeous bow. So I have tutorials to teach you how to do that. So that was for my autumn pumpkin stack. And I'm also going to do one for Halloween. Now again, I have a directional ribbon, meaning that I have to be careful that the design on my ribbons isn't upside down on my bow. So I had to be strategic in how I folded my ribbons. Again, it's just a 2-loop bow. I'm twisting my ribbon so I have the good side up, or the nice finished side up. I folded it over and I managed to get a nice presentation on that bow. I have Happy Halloween showing. I have the black trees. I'm just going to wrap a black pipe cleaner around. I like to match my pipe cleaners to my ribbons as close as possible. And now I'm just going to create a center loop, and that turned out really well as well, because I have 2 pumpkins showing right on my center loop. So now this will look nice sitting at the base of my pumpkin stack. I don't need much for this Halloween version of my pumpkin stack. I put a few more embellishments on the autumn one, but for this one, I'm just doing the bow. And you're going to see here in just a moment, I have some excelsior around the base of the pumpkins. I do that for the Halloween. I'm going to cut off my tails, and I'm going to be placing that on the lower left side. That platform that holds that pumpkin stack, it provides a bit of a ledge, not a lot, so you can't really do too much to it. unless you extended that platform with some wood. But I'm happy with it just like it is. So I'm just going to make do with what I have as far as that platform. Now, they do have a pumpkin stem, which I wish on the piece it would have been a little thicker, but it's not, and I'm just going to go with it like it is. And I'm going to just put a little dab of hot glue on the back, and I'm just going to take that jute twine, which you could purchase anywhere, but I got mine at the Dollar Tree. Take my little silicone tool and press that twine into the glue, and then I'm just going to wrap it around and around. And intermittently, I put a little dab of glue just to keep it all on track and going straight up the pumpkin stem. I'm just going to wrap that all the way to the top. Finish it off in the back with a little dab of glue. And that pumpkin stem is all finished. If you're enjoying this tutorial, I would like to request that you subscribe if you are not currently a subscriber. I would love to have you watching each time I upload a video. And I'm very busy planning a lot of holiday decor pieces, autumn, and Halloween, as well as Christmas, of course. That's my specialty season. I just love to do Christmas decor. So lots coming up. Okay, so we have our stem all wrapped. Now, I have this Excelsior, which I purchased at Hobby Lobby. Now, I'm just going to pull it in a shape, a rectangular shape with my fingers. And then after I get the shape pulled, I kind of squish it a little bit. Now, it'll be a little bit messy until you get it on. But I just put down some dabs of glue, and then I just press the Excelsior into the glue, and then I just trim it up after I'm all done. I did put the Excelsior all the way around the pumpkin stack. I wanted the back finished as much as possible, and so I went around that entire piece, placing that Excelsior. I like that look for anything fall, and there you have it. Looks very cute. And I'm just trimming it up a little bit. Excelsior is a little messy, but it does have a nice effect on pieces, so I really love using it. Now that will stay on there nicely. After you trim it up, hot glue will hold those bunches of Excelsior on there for you. So far, so good. Okay, now I have that Halloween bow, and I'm just going to tuck it right at the base on the left side, the base of the pumpkin. I'm just going to tuck it in there, and you can hot glue that in. I didn't do it right away because I'm going to show you the autumn options here. But if you want to put like a spider or, something next to your piece, I think this would be a great piece to include in if you had like a table decor setup with Halloween or autumn decor, just to add to what you already have. Super cute if you ask me. I really love it. I angled the tails of my bow. Now I'm just rippling that a little bit and turning up the tips of my ribbons. And now I'm going to gather together some bits and pieces of autumn decor. Now this is totally up to you. What you want to use, if you want to use leaves or acorns, but you don't want to, if you're using the faces, you don't want to cover up any aspect of the faces. But if you leave the faces off, then you can use a bit more of the autumn type of embellishments on the bottom. But just place them around. I ended up adding some small, really small little pine cones. And you'll notice that in the finished piece. But I'm just showing you, you can add some leaves. But again, if you would rather not have the faces, you could put that little Hello Fall sign maybe on the center pumpkin. Now, I did take a piece of pitberry garland and I just kind of curled it about and just put it around the front and then over to each side. And when I got to each end, I took something and I curled the excelsior and let it, not the excelsior, I'm sorry, the pitberry garland, and just let it kind of poke up on each side of the pumpkins. But that's just some examples how you could decorate your pieces. And here's that pitberry garland, what I just mentioned. I just kind of coiled the pitberry, and on the ends, I wrapped it around that silicone makeup handle tool, and then I just let it kind of curl up on each side just to give it a little visual interest. And then the bow's going to go on the left side. Everything can be glued down right into the excelsior. Here you have the Halloween pumpkin with a little spider next to it and all three of the faces. This is a cute decor piece. You could use it on a table for a Halloween party, or just added to any Halloween decor. Super cute. And here's the autumn one. You see how I added the pumpkins and the acorns and a leaf. And here you have the cute little pumpkin faces, which I love doing. I think they're super cute. Just a fun little piece to add to your decor. Remember to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Okay, until next time, you all take care.